This video is dedicated to a student whose name I'm not going to name. She requested that I make a video on this just to demystify things for her. And I'm going to call it Graphs of Motion. So there's equations of motion in mechanics, in physics, and they describe how an object moves. Speed, distance, time, acceleration, that sort of stuff. I'll start with the simplest equation. Speed equals distance divided by time. So whenever you look down at a car's speedometer, at the dash, let's say you're moving at 50 k's per hour, that's actually a measure of how much distance you cover in a certain amount of time, which in this case is 50 kilometers per hour. That's the speed. Speed is basically how much ground you cover in a certain amount of time. And it's typically measured in meters per second or kilometers per hour. Sometimes written like this with a minus km, h with a -1. That -1 means divide by h. Similarly here, meters per second, ms with a -1. That -1 means divide by s. So that's speed. Distance. Distance is how much. Distance is basically the length of space between 2 points, and it's typically measured in meters or kilometers using this relationship, this formula. Time is a weird thing to describe. The best way as a physicist I can describe it, it's basically something which ticks away at 1 second per second, at a rate of 1 second per second. So typically seconds or hour, using this formula. It's a very simple formula. To rearrange this algebraically, let's say you want to find time using this formula. Suppose you know what the speed is and you know what the distance is. You want to work out time. You just flip these, okay, mathematically. So time is just distance divided by speed. And to find out distance, let's say, to get distance by itself, we need to take this over, the speed over. And because distance is being divided by speed, we have to multiply by speed to get rid of speed, right? So speed divided by speed, that cancels out. Think of it as like x divided by x, or 1 divided by 1, just cancels out. And so you have to multiply here as well, both sides. So distance is just speed times time. And there you go. And for those who struggle with the algebra, you can use this triangle relationship. Okay, where this line here, this horizontal line, that's divide. This vertical line here is multiply. So to find distance, you put your thumb over the D, cover the D. You just do speed times time. And to find, let's say, time, you cover time with your thumb. You do distance divided by speed. And to find speed, you just do distance divided by time. Okay, that's how it works. So that's the formula. That's the relationship comparing speed, distance, and time. Let's talk graphs now. Now here's a simple graph I'm going to draw. Here's the y-axis, x-axis. Let me draw a straight line. Now, to represent this relationship on a graph, speed equals distance divided by time. Time is usually at the bottom, typically in physics. Okay, let's measure it in seconds in this case. Distance is at the top on the y-axis. Let's measure it in meters. And let's suppose time, so that's the origin here. Okay, starting point 0. Let's suppose time goes from 1 to 10. Please excuse my terrible diagrams and my messy writing for that matter. Let's suppose distance is going up by 10s all the way up to 50, 20, 30, 40, 50.